Igor Stravinsky probably shaped modern music more than any other composer, with the possible exception of Arnold Schoenberg. Stravinsky was a cosmopolitan figure who had a long and successful career as a composer and conductor. Growing up in Russia, he absorbed the musical nationalism of the mighty handful. Moving to Paris, he wrote works that might be heard to musically embody the wider aesthetic movements of his day, such as Cubism and Primitivism. After World War I, he, like many artists, took a second look at tonal music, writing neoclassical works. After World War II, he even explored serialism, then in vogue in academic circles, alongside composers such as Boulez and Stockhausen. Do consult a good music history textbook for a fuller account of Stravinsky's music. This video focuses on one of Stravinsky's most significant compositions, the ballet turned orchestral suite from 1911, Petrushka. Petrushka drew upon the Russian nationalism of Stravinsky's earlier music, with its cyclic melodies, sectional forms, extended timbres, and neotonality. These characteristics help establish the ballet's setting at a Shrovetide fair in Russia. Shrovetide is the Russian version of Carnival. In Petrushka, Stravinsky used an even larger orchestra than he had before. This orchestra explored layered textures and ostinatos. Stravinsky's instrumentation, mixed meter and polyrhythms, make for a novel experience of musical time, perhaps analogous to Picasso's Cubist experiments with dimensionality. The famous Petrushka chord is one of the first significant uses of polytonality. Petrushka is the Russian version of the Italian commedia dell'arte story of the sad clown puppet Pulcinella, who falls in love with a beautiful ballerina puppet and then dies at the hand of the Moor puppet in a battle for the ballerina's affections. Both the ballet and the concert suite are in 4 tableaux, each of which is divided into multiple sections. The first tableau depicts a magician bringing his puppet show to the Shrovetide fair. Stravinsky established the festive atmosphere by using Russian folk melodies, such as those on your screen. In the second tableau, we see Petrushka in his cell, dreaming of the ballerina. Petrushka's sadness and alienation from the other puppets is evoked in a fanfare that outlines the Petrushka chord. The Petrushka chord is a polychord consisting of a C major and a F sharp major chord, triads whose roots are a tritone apart. Tableau 3 opens in the Moor's cell, where he is visited by the ballerina who dances for him. You'll recognize the tune for her trumpet dance as one of the most important trumpet excerpts in all of orchestral literature. They proceed to dance together. Stravinsky borrowed a popular waltz of his day to represent the ballerina and wrote an abrupt and syncopated motive in the winds to depict the awkward Moor. Poking his head in the door, Petrushka sees them. He becomes insanely jealous and challenges the much more powerful Moor, with predictable results. Petrushka is thrown out the door. In the orchestra, a snare drum cadence connects the third tableau to the fourth tableau, much like it had connected the second and third tableaus. The fourth tableau opens with the same festive wash of orchestral sound heard at the beginning of the ballet. We are back at the fair. Stravinsky again draws on Russian folk tunes. This time the audience is treated to a series of dances by ethnic figures, such as the wet nurses, a peasant with a bear, a merchant and gypsy girls, coachmen and stable boys, pantomimists, and a devilish dancer. Suddenly a trumpet cry resounds from the puppet theater, and the merrymaking comes to a halt. Petrushka, injured, dashes from the theater. The Moor pursues him, and the ballerina unsuccessfully tries to stop the fight. Petrushka is slain, the crowd is shaken, and the magician attempts to explain that Petrushka is merely a puppet. Not convinced, the crowd disperses, and the musician is left alone on the stage with Petrushka's corpse. The ghost of Petrushka appears on top of the puppet theater, and he mocks the magician. Make sure you listen to Stravinsky's music for Petrushka before moving on to the next assignment. The music, as well as video footage from ballet productions of the work, are readily available on YouTube. There is a score in the public domain in the United States that can be downloaded from imslp.org. Stravinsky's layered orchestrations, sectional forms, polychords, and neotonality continues to shape classical music today.